I want to show you guys this as well. Speaking of exploitation, it says Super Bowl 2023 halftime show. What to know about Rihanna's performance at Super Bowl 57. So Rihanna is going to be doing the Super Bowl halftime show. And by the way, we were just talking about the national anthem. This Duck Dynasty looking dude is going to be doing the halftime song.
That's Chris Stapleton.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know who it was neither, but damn, nigga.
Me neither. And then, oh, and by the way, they're also going to be singing America the Beautiful, and Babyface is going to be singing that. And then Shirley Ralph is going to be singing Lift Every Voice and Sing.
So they just got black faces in high places, man. I'm telling you, you can't never trust them. You can't never trust them. I don't get it. They pushing this. They using black faces to push imperialism on us to make it. It's not that bad. We got Whitney Houston singing it. Shit, bullshit. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if it was Michael Jackson with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X as backup. I don't care. It's a horrible song.
Listen, the question is, are we going to see Babyface eyes, or is he going to have on sunglasses? Is Babyface going to take off the sunglasses this time around?
Because you got that whip appeal.
Just whip it on me.
Yeah. So this is something that I also think that people need to remember. It says, why hasn't Rihanna performed at the Super Bowl before? It says in 2019, when the game was held in Atlanta, the NFL struggled to find performers because many of them, including Rihanna, stood in solidarity with former San Francisco 49er quarterback Colin Kaepernick. The athlete provoked controversy in 2016 after kneeling during pregame national anthem to protest social inequality and police brutality. Rihanna told Vogue in October of 2019, months after she had been asked to play the Super Bowl, she said, "I couldn't dare do that. For what? Who gains from that? Not my people. I just couldn't be a sellout. I couldn't be an enabler. These things within the organization, there's things within the organization that I do not agree with at all. And I was not about to go and be one of service to them in any way." But it says it's likely that the arrival of her longtime guru, Jay-Z, as a consultant for the NFL played a role in her decision to perform. The rapper business mogul aligned himself with the NFL later in 2019, basically, selling black people out, and said he would assist in expanding the cultural influences of the league. So my thing is like, they ain't really changed nothing. So I
was about to say, like, what happened, Rihanna? Like, what changed? Because Colin Kaepernick still isn't in the NFL. I mean, maybe I don't watch. Is he back?
No,
he's not back. Police still killing 1,000 people a year. Yep. Or black people are still a high statistic on a murder chart of police, by the police hands. Like, what have changed fundamentally for you to, was it the pocketbook, the money that they said, and you bring Jay-Z in the picture, and now I totally, it makes sense now. It makes sense why she sold out, because it ain't even like she haven't sold out already. She have child slaves making her.
Rome, you ruined the surprise.
I was gonna bring it up if she ever responded to the sweatshops.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, Rome, you ruined the surprise. Come on.
I just came in. I just popped up on y'all, so I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Well, I want people to know really quick. It's important to understand she's not paid for this either. So you really got to ask why the change of heart, because halftime performers aren't paid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that notoriety gives them a lot more business. It increases their record sales and increases their businesses like Fenty Beauty by Rihanna. And this is from the print. It says Rihanna Fenty Beauty brand under lens in India for using mica from mines hiring child labor.
Yep.
Remember, Rihanna's a billionaire.
Yep. And remember, billionaires are usually exploiting someone somewhere.
Hello, Jay-Z. Hello, Beyonce.
One fan said to me, she made that money her work and blah, blah. She don't have any child slaves. That shit has been debunked. No, it hasn't been debunked. Nothing has been debunked. She haven't came out and said a damn thing about it, just like Jay-Z haven't came out and said about the child slaves that was making his Rockefeller clothes when he had that clothing line. Nobody came out and debunked a damn thing. She didn't show us who was in those sweatshops. We didn't have any video proof from her. She didn't say a damn thing. So if you are a fan of Rihanna or Riri, or whatever the fuck her fucking name is, how the fuck you pronounce it, shut the fuck up and take the criticism, because a lot of our fucking favorite actors and movie stars, singers, rappers do horrendous shit. Shit. A lot of them aren't slave masters, but they are horrible people. So maybe you should look inward. Maybe you should look inward and ask yourself, does Rihanna, do I care more about Rihanna, or do I care more about the generations of slaves that she have up under her right now?
Yeah. The subheading says NGO Legal Rights Observatory has filed a complaint with the National Child Rights Protection Body, alleging Rihanna's Fenty Beauty brand uses blood mica from Jacarland mines. And by the way, this was discovered after she said that she was not going to be performing in the Super Bowl because of Colin Kaepernick's stand.
That's when they started digging.
Yep. And this came out in February of 2021. It's only 2 years ago. So it says, this is out of New Delhi, international pop star Rihanna, who created a stir in India by tweeting in support of the protesting farmers, is now under scanner of the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights for allegedly using mica from Indian mines where, quote, child laborers work in dire conditions, end quote, in her cosmetics brand Fenty Beauty. NCPCR chairman Priyank Kanungo told the print that they are looking into the matter and would do the needful. I don't know what the hell that means. Says this is after the NCPCR received a complaint Friday from NGO Legal Rights Observatory. The complaint, a copy of which is the print as reports, U.S. pop star Rihanna beauty product Fenty Beauty uses blood mica from Jacarland, in which child laborers work in dire conditions. And so this is, this is something that a lot of people don't take into consideration. Not to mention the amount of people who are going to be exploited by these corporations that are spending millions of dollars just for 30-second ads. Are their workers unionized? Are their workers paid a living wage? Like, for instance, PepsiCo. PepsiCo is basically, one of the sponsors of the Super Bowl. How do they treat their employees? PepsiCo also owns Frito-Lay. How are those people in the chip factories? How are they being paid? Are they being paid a livable wage?
On a strike.
Yeah. And by the way, tons of soda, tons of chips, wings, all these food companies are pumping out in record a lot of food in order for you, not you, but in order for everybody who's watching the big game to be able to eat and snack and have a good time. But are the people who are manufacturing all this food, are they being paid a living wage? Are they being, supplied? Now, I do know there's no ethical consumption in capitalism. No matter what you do, somebody's getting shafted. But the larger question is what are we doing outside of that in order to bring awareness to people so that we can bring down the system so that, post-revolution, when we're actually enjoying a game, we don't have to worry about these things. You know what I mean? That's something I think is the larger question that people really need to ask themselves.
I'll also mention to people too, those of you that are going to be watching the game at home, I always try to cook my own food for the Super Bowl. Like we'll do like chili or wings and stuff like that.
Well, I'm coming to your house.
I try to do that because number one, I like to cook. And number two, I want you to think about all of the employees that work at the pizza joints, all the employees that work at like these wings places where you're going to order your food from. Those people are overworked on Super Bowl Sunday. It's crazy. I used to live next door to a wings place. Okay. I used to live at sort of place called Wings Over. There's a bunch of them. There's like Wings Over Somerville, Wings Over, all these different like places. But on Super Bowl Sunday, if you walk in there, it's freaking madness. It's crazy. And like they overwork the employees just to get the orders out. Also, you're not going to get the best quality that day either because there's so much, the demand is so high. So you're better off just cooking your own food. Like that's my take on it. But like, just keep in mind, like there are people out there like hustling to get those pizzas and wings to your door.
Just right. And it's way cheaper to just buy like a sub. What one of them? Those 6 foot subs is whatever. People be paying $200 for those. You got a bridge card, you can go get that. You can make that for $50-$60. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Yeah, just slap some meat and some fucking lettuce on that shit.
People be slapping meat on. And so one of the things that I wanted to point out as well, Rome, I know you caught that. I'm trying to behave myself, but behave yourself, JB. But also, if you feel like you absolutely have to order pizza or something like that, tip well. Please tip well. I don't care if you're ordering from Uber Eats, DoorDash, if you're ordering, from a pizza place, whatever. Tip well, please, because these people are literally taking their time away to work and they're being stretched beyond imagination. If you're at least going to use the tip well, because and I'm saying beyond 20%, because the thing is that they are working and they are getting paid pennies, for the type, for keeping these corporations up. So that's all I got to say.
Them rich people not tipping, man. Like, we know them rich people who order in thousands of dollars in food. They feel like it's a privilege for you to work for them. I gave this company thousands of dollars. I shouldn't have to tip and blah blah blah. So make sure, like, if you are working class and you are gonna watch the Super Bowl, if you're gonna order something, man, make sure you have solidarity for the people who's going through it, because they ain't making. Even if it wasn't the Super Bowl, they still not making what they should be making. And if they're going to make their job even harder, then God damn it, you know what I'm saying? Make it a little bit lighter, because you got to think all those orders that they're going through. If we are, let's say we are a restaurant, RBN is the restaurant on Super Bowl open, you know how many subs, how many wings and shit that we're going to sell? How many tips do you think that we get at the end of the day? I guarantee, go on TikTok after the Super Bowl, go on TikTok and watch how many hashtag Super Bowl and watch how many fucking restaurant owner employees gonna be pissed the fuck off because they didn't work their ass off, they didn't work their fingers to the bone, and they didn't get a damn thing. Probably you should smile more on your fucking tip, where the tip should go.
Yeah, it's true, and it's not even just like the Super Bowl. It's what I want people to keep in mind is that while you're at home watching the Super Bowl, those people can't watch it. They have to work. So they're working to give, food and services to you while you're sitting at home watching it. The same thing goes for those other, like some of these other events and holidays, Mother's Day. Like when I waited tables, like nobody was allowed to take off on Mother's Day. No one was allowed to take off Easter Sunday or Father's Day. Like we had to work. So while everybody else was coming in after spending the morning at church with their mom or their dad for Mother's Day or Father's Day, they came into the restaurant and we were waiting on them. We had not spent any time with our mothers or our dads on those days. So keep that in mind, that like, this is the thing about working in the service industry. Like they don't get that type of luxury.
Yeah. As somebody who was a line cook during those years, I'm telling you right now, what Savvy said is absolutely true. Now, Savvy, you were a server, and I want to make sure that I'm accurate on this. Do you have to report taxes on cash tips?
No, but I think they're trying to change that. I just read something recently that said that the federal government is trying to make that more difficult to report like those cash tips. But no, we had to file taxes on the credit card tips.
Okay, here's the thing. Go take your ass to the ATM, and when you order your food, give the person a tip in cash.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look, circumvent the system and give them a tip in cash.
Don't leave it on the fucking table.
Because and put it in your hand.
Yes.
If you're at a restaurant, make sure you tip the server in cash. If you're ordering pizza, tip the server in cash. If you're getting DoorDash or Postmates or whatever, give them a tip in cash, because then it may not get taxed. I'm not saying it definitely won't, but it may not get taxed. So then they get to keep more of their money. Also, when you tip them, you're not giving money to that corporation for them to swipe. You're giving it directly to the worker. So if you're going to support workers, make sure you do it in cash, because
that's just like when I met you, JB. I went down to Florida. It was from the bus stop to your neighborhood. It was only like 11 minutes or something. So I'm thinking in my head, like, this lady ain't making no money off of the shit. She's wasting more gas money picking me up, dropping me off, than she's making. So I'm like, all right, I paid her $20 in cash, and like, always say don't report this. You know what I'm saying? This is yours, and I give her a 3% tip on Lyft. You know, always make sure that you try to at least leave these people even off. You know what I'm saying? Leave them with something. You know, because people door dashing for 5 miles for $7. I'm like, come on, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because even though like they're just dropping food off to you, they're still using their gas, and they still have to pay for that too. So
yeah. And you also got to remember that these people, especially those that look like us, they're also taking a risk every single time they jump in their car to drive to bring you food, because the police are out there, and then they may end up stopping them, and something may end up happening that is detrimental to their life. So they're taking a risk. So be mindful of the people who are either delivering your food. Also, make sure to tie up your trash bags properly, so that the people that come on Monday morning to grab your trash don't have to, worry about stuff spilling out, because the people who collect your trash in the morning also have to deal with the after effects of the Super Bowl and things like that. So we have to keep in mind, always think about the workers, always about people who do all these different services, because that's what matters. And also, please be really nice, be extra nice, because people in the service industry, they go through a lot.